But I think it's a piece that a lot of people ask us to make again.
Because which is interesting, if people who just chase hype doesn't want watch that look like quartz. You know about it because we never talk publicly about that.
하이엔드 독립시계 좋아하시는 분들이라면 아마 이 이름만 들어도 꽤 놀라실 것 같습니다. 요즘 전 세계 컬렉터들이 줄을 서다 못해 돈을 사들고 찾아간다는 브랜드, 바로 페터만 비다의 가일과 플로리안을 서울에서 직접 만났습니다. 보통 신생 브랜드가 나오면 공식이 있거든요. 제일 단순하고 만들기 쉬운 타임온리 시계부터 팔아서 돈을 벌고 어느 정도 자리를 잡기 시작했다 싶으면 그제야 더 복잡한 시계를 선보이죠.
네, 보통 그게 일반적이긴 하죠. 그런데 가일과 플로리안은 시작부터 상식을 깨버렸습니다. 2017년에 브랜드를 만들자마자 주로 하이엔드 브랜드들만 제작하는 초정밀 메커니즘 데드비트 세컨즈를 첫 작품으로 들고 나왔습니다.
일반적인 기계식 시계는 초침이 부드럽게 흐르지만 데드비트 세컨즈는 초침을 1초 동안 잡아두었다가 탁 풀어주는 메커니즘이잖아요. 태엽의 강력한 힘을 정밀하게 통제해야 하기 때문에 무브먼트 내부의 시계 하나 분량에 복잡한 기어와 부품이 추가로 들어가야 합니다. 대부분 예측하시겠지만 초침을 1초마다 멈췄다 튕겨주는 과정에서 마찰과 에너지 손실이 발생할 수밖에 없는데 이걸 최소화하기 위해 부품의 무게를 극한으로 줄이고 오차없는 정밀한 설계를 해내야만 가능한 기능이죠. 과거의 시간을 초 단위로 정확하게 측정하는 게 중요했을 때 주로 사용되었던 기능인데 분명히 영상이 올라가면 댓글에 또 어떤 친절한 분께서 그냥 쿼츠 사면 되지 않냐 라고 알려주실 것 같습니다. 아무튼 오늘 주인공인 가일과 플로리안, 이 두 친구가 처음 들고 나온 게 데드비트 세컨즈여서 많은 사람들이 놀랐는데 그 다음엔 한술 더 떠서 훨씬 만들기 힘든 스플릿 세컨즈 크로노그래프를 만들더니 시계 업계의 오스카상이라 불리는 GPACG에서 크로노그래프상을 받습니다.
더 재밌는 건 최근 행보입니다. 그런 초복잡 시계들을 먼저 다 만들고 나서야 이제야 우리도 10분초만 나오는 제 기본 시계 하나를 만들었어 하면서 레퍼런스 1825를 발표했습니다. 이 친구들은 꼭대기를 찍으면서 극소량의 시계들만 생산하다가 이제야 내려와서 가장 본질적인 타임온리 모델을 만들기 시작한 겁니다. 도대체 왜 이렇게 남들과는 다른 행보를 보였는지 저도 정말 궁금합니다. 지금 전 세계 컬렉터들이 만나보고 싶어하는 페트만 비다 방한 독점 인터뷰 지금 바로 시작하겠습니다.
Well, welcome everyone. Well, thank you for tuning in. It is a privilege to be hosting this special session with Petermann Bédat today. First and foremost, well, thank you to both of you for making your journey to Seoul. For those who are deeply immersed in high-end independent watchmaking, these two require no introduction. But for those who are new to their story, you two first met at the Watchmaking School of Geneva in 2007.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
All good
Yeah.
for now.
Before honing your skills at Langenbrunner for a few years. And in 2017, you two joined forces as equal partners. And since launching, you've captivated many collectors with your Deadbeat Seconds model and an award-winning split seconds chronograph. And most recently, you have released your first time-only model, which I'm sure has left you flooded with requests from collectors all around the world. When you take a step back and look at your journey so far, why do you think you were able to capture the attention of so many collectors around the world?
That's a good question. I think this is like multiple things, not just one. First, with Florian, we always loved finishing, and during our second grade, we were making like a finishing battle, you know, under the microscope, just seeing who make the best finishing. We always like that, and fortunately today this is something that collectors like, you know. So that's one chance, and another one is we start directly working with a good designer that can understand both of us, and that's apparently his design is appreciated by our clients also. For example, when we made the Deadbeat in 2018, we tried to sell it for 2 years, but it wasn't possible because people were like, okay, the movement is good, we can see you are watchmakers, but it's not sexy in the front, and I wear it, you know, on the front. And this is where we met Bart, our designer, and just changing the dial and the hands changed everything. So yeah, that's probably part of it.
Yeah, but I think also starting with a Deadbeat Second was we already in our mind wanted to target a real connoisseur. people that knows a bit more in watchmaking, and I think now people start to respect that in a way, because at the first a lot of people didn't know us, but I think it's a piece that a lot of people ask us to make again. But again, we making it since like 6 years, and we just want to stop and making new things as a 300, but even more complicated projects in the future.
I mean, well, most independent watchmakers start with a simple and safe time-only model usually, but you did the opposite. So what was the thinking process behind starting with these complicated models? I mean, was it to sort of send out a message to the world to show that you're capable of executing at a high level?
Yeah, the idea is I'm independent since 2014 at the Sven Andersen office as a restoration, but I know how difficult it was to sell independent watch back then. And when we had the idea in 2017, we were like, oh, it could be nice to make a watch, but we knew it would be very difficult to sell it. So it's we say, okay, how we can keep the attention of collectors. So like Florian say, we say, why not making a dead beat? Because which is interesting, if people who just chase hype doesn't want watch that look like quartz, but people like real collectors, big collectors, they have so many simple watches, but the dead beat is quite different. Now you can see more, but in the independent world in 2017 there were just a few of them. So we said, okay, we can start like that. So basically it was a target and how we can make things different. So that's why we didn't start with a tourbillon or a simple freehand. And after that, we loved chronograph. And this is when we really wanted to show what we are capable of, putting a chronograph and a split on top of it to push a little bit further.
Looking closely at the new reference 1825, a 3/4 plate layout, a German silver, swan neck regulator, they hint at your formative years spent at Langenzoner. But looking at the center, there is a black polished bridge shaped like a bell and a very large jewel. What was the design inspiration behind this movement architecture?
Well, it's a long process, to be honest. There is no like we get a lot of inspiration from vintage pocket watches, and the 300 movement, we needed to have a very significant design, because there's a lot of 300 right now. So we wanted to, we already had our aesthetics from the chronograph and dead beats. So we started in the crown wheel bridge, which is the bridge where there's the number of the movements. And then we started to draw like something symmetrical. And then we tried to make like 100% symmetrical. But at the end, we were not very comfortable. And the bell-shaped bridge, I think it just came quite naturally. We didn't imagine something we wanted something in stainless steel bridge in the center, like we used to have for the deadbeat and chronograph. And the designer came with this idea of this bell bridge. It was like, okay, that came naturally with the bridges around. So that's how it became. It wasn't like something directly, we want this. It just came with a lot of steps. So we found it was like very interesting, and we didn't see that before. And we wanted to open a little bit the gears, but not too much, because for us, we come from Lange also, so we like to hide and have a nice space to make nice Geneva stripes.
Yeah, in the design that we made like completely symmetrical, we lost the swan neck regulator. I really liked it. Florian, for weeks, he was like, I'm not sure. At the end, he said, you know what, I'm not comfortable with it. We should try to come back with a regular balance bridge and with the swan neck system regulator, because I really like it, and it's probably something that is part of us. And he was right to just come back. Yeah, it's a very long process, because first we start to design together, and then we send to our designer and come back with crazy inspiration that, you know, is just growing. And then you're like, okay, we continue, but I don't know how it will work, you know, to make it real. So it's a lot of back and forth. It was not just one path. And so, yeah, we'll do something like that. Like we try at least 20 different variation of it. So.
It's a result of many trial and error, basically.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, of course,
Yes.
Your reference numbers always have this clever riddle. So what's the hidden meaning behind the new 1825?
Well, it's I think it's the easiest reference number as far. It's just 2018 is when we started PB, and 25 is when the watch was released in 2025. So it's just 1825. but the other one are more tricky.
I still struggle to understand the reference number 2941. That's quite a hard one to remember.
Yes, this is the hardest.
Yeah, but you know about it because we never talk publicly about that. Because on the movement there is a part, the clutch lever, look like a dragon.
Oh, right.
And we say, it could be nice to have a reference to a dragon. And with Florian, we are a huge fan of Tolkien, you know, the Lord of the Rings, the
Right.
Hobbits.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And in the Hobbits, Smoke, the dragon, get killed the year 2941 of the Third Age. So that's
It's a
the...
little more like a geek thing, but
Yeah.
we found like quite nice. So
I heard you guys said for anyone who guesses the meaning behind the reference number 2941, you'll give a bottle of wine.
The first one to discover, and we had someone discover it
Oh,
because
really?
we gave two clues. One is it's because of the shape of something that reminded us something, and something that we really like. And we did two because when we won the GPHG for the chronograph, I was making a reference about Tolkien.
Right.
So it was like, wait a minute, and then he just wrote Tolkien and then or a lot of the rings and the number, and he found out like that.
we still have to give you the bottle.
Yeah, because he doesn't drink wine normally, so that's why.
It's quite funny. So during my recent visit to your manufacturing facility, I noticed the setup had evolved physically. So now you have more watchmakers and machinery in place. When you were developing this new 1825, so what was your thinking process behind it? How did it compare to when you first started with those complicated models?
Yeah, so for example, with the deadbeat, we didn't have a lot of money. So when we asked our supplier to make a component, we say, okay, you do that, and then we will finish it to our workshop, some specific things. So we had a lot of things to adjust by hand for the deadbeat, for the chronograph, and for the three-handers. We decided to make that because we have too many demand. So that's why we hired more people. And also since the beginning, we think about every step, how to be efficient for the watchmaker. Even, when you design a part, how the supplier can be efficient everywhere. So we have more watchmaker and it's easier to assemble. So we developed it in this way to be sure to deliver more people.
Okay, well then naturally, can we expect Petermann Bédat to grow a little faster than it did in the first 8 to 9 years?
Yeah, definitely. That's the goal because I think the two watches were very like personal decision. It wasn't a good decision in terms of financial decision, but in terms of long-term decision, I think it was the good ones. And now that we gather a lot of demands, we can start with the three-hander, but going more also in complication.
I know your ultimate romantic dream is to one day build entirely handmade pocket watches, but looking at the big picture, 30 years from now on, what is your definitive legacy to be as watchmakers?
It's a tough question, but I think of course, we want the brand to last after we are not here anymore. And we like this idea of staying a little bit small. So I say this right now, but if in the future there is a strategic decision that we have to make and we need to grow the people, maybe we'll grow a little bit bigger. But with Gael, we like to have this small family as a workshop. And it's hard, of course, for the clients to understand that we don't make a lot of watches, but we want to keep our freedom in a way. If you have more people, you have more restraint. And I think you are more flexible with a small team. So that's my dream, to let a small workshop running well without us. And we want to make complicated watches so people can recognize our skills. Also nice finishing, of course, but I think finishing is important, but it's not the main. I think we have to evolve in a different way for the future. Try to do some complication, but that's what we want for the future of PB.
You agree?
He has to.
Yeah. Well, it was a real pleasure to have both of you here with us, sharing your thoughts, your philosophy, and the incredible watches with the Korean community. And for our viewers, thank you for tuning in, and make sure to follow Petermann Bédat as they have a long journey ahead of them. Thank you.